everyone. This presentation is on the article titled The Super Efficient Company, which was written by Michael Hammer in 2001 for the Harvard Business Review. It is presented by Benjamin Neese and Shanita Shepard. Now you may be asking yourself, what exactly does super efficiency mean? Super efficiency, in a nutshell, is the streamlining of cross-company processes in pursuit of reducing cost, enhancing quality, and speeding up operations. Companies that have achieved optimum internal efficiency look to increase overall efficiency by streamlining processes they share with other companies. Shared processes are those that involve interactions with other companies. These processes are regularly uncoordinated, inefficient, and have a lot of room for improvement. Many cross-company processes involve duplicative operations, functions, and procedures on either side of a transaction. As operations change and evolve, employee jobs and behavior must follow suit, resulting in a changing means of measuring performance of these employees. In moving towards super efficiency, companies must begin dismantling the obstacles that have previously hampered efficiency levels. This begins by integrating and simplifying core business processes by utilizing information system resources in an effective and efficient manner. By doing so, companies can begin to see positive results in reduction of errors between business units by enabling the information and transactions to flow easily between various business units. The chemical company GEON focused its energies in the mid-1990s on breaking down the walls between its units in order to reduce costs and create greater value for customers. Through its efforts, GEON saw information and transactions flow more easily between different parts of the company. This synergistic result increased GEON's profits and consumer satisfaction. The percentage of orders shipped on time soared, customer complaints almost vanished, the need to pay premium freight rates to make up for scheduling foul-ups evaporated, inventory levels fell sharply, and overall productivity got a strong boost. In 1999, GEON realized that they did not have the sales volumes necessary to maintain competitive production costs. The company resolved to streamline functionality by focusing on the compound side of the business. Producing compounds was a higher value-adding activity, it was less dependent on scale, and was more reliant on clever engineering to meet specific customer needs. This new focus would give GEON the opportunity to gain a true competitive advantage and widen its margins. In support of the new strategy, GEON decided to enter into a joint venture with Occidental Chemical called OxyVinyls, which became its primary supplier of materials. However, beginning this new joint venture did not go according to plan, nor did it have the results that the companies expected. In fact, the results were disastrous in many ways. Work was no longer coordinated, information was no longer shared, and overhead and duplication were reintroduced. Expediters, schedulers, and a host of clerical personnel had to be hired to manage the interface. With things not going according to plan, GEON took action. They worked closely with OxyVinyls to connect both companies' processes and the computer systems that supported them. In doing so, GEON tore down the walls between the two companies and greatly increased the efficiency by which the companies transmitted information. GEON has effectively streamlined the different processes between the companies and integrated them into a single process. GEON's efforts have greatly paid off. Their error rate has now dropped to 0%, its order fulfillment cycle has fallen back to its earlier levels before the companies began their joint venture, and the inventory has declined by 15%. In addition, labor costs have also fallen because non-value-adding work has been eliminated. Now that barriers have been reduced, it is time to get started relocating work by shifting activities across corporate boundaries. Rather than seeing business processes end at the edges of their companies, partners now see and manage them as they truly are, chains of activities that are performed by different organizations. This change in approach reveals that supply chain integration efforts between partnering companies are truly process and management challenges as opposed to technological ones. Technology may help facilitate efficiency, but the biggest challenge is changing the way employees think and work. One of the first steps to supply chain integration is by simplifying supply chains in general. This is achieved by integrating processes, eliminating barriers to information and communication between partnering companies, linking various units through effective information systems, which results in benefits to the entire supply chain. Smaller units in the supply chain reduce operating and production costs, which results in big savings for big units as a result of the cumulative cost reduction throughout the supply chain. Computer manufacturing giant HP is a great example of how simplifying a supply chain can make all the difference in cutting costs and maximizing profits. During the 1990s, HP outsourced most of its manufacturing processes, which resulted in extreme waste of materials, time, and manpower. Now, this is not the result of a technological problem. This is a management problem. Suppliers were having trouble determining how much material they would actually need, and delivery issues occurred which resulted in consumer dissatisfaction, which ultimately burdened HP due to a lack of ability to monitor and evaluate quality and delivery performance. In 1999, HP resolved to integrate the entire supply chain and coordinate a unified process. Now members of the supply chain post their plans and schedules and use the system to communicate with their own suppliers and customers, exchanging electronic orders, acknowledgments, and invoices. When processes are linked, any change to an order ripples through the entire supply chain. While this integration helped everyone throughout the supply chain, HP, sitting at the top, saw the greatest return on their integration investment. Material costs dropped, delivery times were greatly reduced, and most importantly, HP has realized an increase in overall sales. Coordinating logistical business processes opens the door to integration of product development processes. A company, its suppliers, and even customers will begin to share information and activities to speed the design of a product and raise the likelihood for success in the market. The end result is a collaborative product development that will be the multi-company analog of concurrent engineering, which has transformed internal product development over the past 15 years. Traditional notions of doing business state that if I buy something of yours, then I am your customer and you are my supplier. If another company tries to sell me the same thing, it's your competitor. However, this leaves out the circumstance where two companies are non-competitive suppliers of goods and services to the same customer. Herein lies the concept of co-suppliers. Our example here involves the companies General Mills and Land O'Lakes. These are two companies that sell different products to the same consumers in the same locations, grocery stores. In our example, each company has been shipping their goods to the same locations using different distribution methods and incurring unnecessary costs. They both chose to integrate their distribution efforts by filling up trucks with both companies' products and shipping them to stores side by side. The potential for such relationships is seemingly endless and has always existed. A huge barrier to their formulation was a lack of efficient means of sharing information quickly and accurately. The evidence that potential still exists for companies to formulate more relationships like this is the startling fact that at the time this article was written, it was believed that 20% of the nation's trucks were traveling empty. In the shipping industry, many trucks are only partially filled and sent off to deliver their goods. Once their route is complete, the empty trailer must then be shipped to another location to be filled again and repeat the process. General Mills and Land O'Lakes have greatly reduced their distribution costs by collaborating their business processes. Aside from distribution processes, warehousing and inventory costs are other examples where collaboration can both reduce those costs and increase efficiency of necessary business functions. Now that we have discussed the various approaches and benefits of pursuing super efficiency, it is time to make it happen. Embarking on a multi-company project is a daunting task, but streamlining cross-company business processes is the next great frontier for reducing cost, enhancing quality, and speeding operations. However, the leap to super efficiency requires a rigorous, structured approach that is broken down into 4 major stages: scoping, organizing, redesigning, and implementing. The first stage is scoping. Scoping involves identifying the appropriate business process to redesign. This process must have already achieved optimal internal efficiency. This simply means that everything has been done on one company's end to ensure that process is as efficient as possible before trying to coordinate with a partnering company. Additionally, the process should offer substantial opportunity to enhance overall business performance. Once that process is identified, a company must select a partner company that possesses an interest in working with them to streamline cross-company processes. An important factor to consider when selecting a partner company is whether or not they have any experience in this type of transaction. Your company must be critical to a fault when it comes to selecting a partner. Goals, objectives, company culture, executive leadership, workforce personnel, and many other factors must be evaluated to determine whether or not a partner is the right fit for the undertaking about to be performed. The second step in our process is organizing. This step begins the formal working relationship between partnering companies. The first organizational step is to form an executive steering committee, which will begin the first stages of the project and be comprised of leaders from all partnering companies. The main responsibilities of this committee is to establish the rules of engagement, performance measures, and specify and quantify the goals that are to be achieved throughout the project. Alongside the steering committee, a design team must be formed to spearhead the project's design. These members must undertake full-time responsibilities in the project and consist of members from all partners. Furthermore, these members should have expertise in existing processes, process redesign, and change management. Speed is of the essence in these type of projects. Part-timers and inexperienced members tend to be distracted or require additional supervision and guidance, which can reduce not only the speed in which the product may be completed, but also jeopardizes the quality of the finished product. Our third step is redesigning. This step may seem obvious and somewhat redundant. However, it is important to restate that the product must be designed to integrate processes in a way that fulfills performance goals. In achieving optimum redesign, project members should keep the final customer in mind. Each company is not working to better themselves, but rather to provide a better product or service to their final customers. Second, the entire process must be designed as a unit to prevent focusing too narrowly on certain aspects. By bifurcating the processes into pieces rather than looking at it as a whole. Furthermore, streamlining means removing unnecessary aspects. That being said, eliminating duplicated activities is one of the primary ways to assure the project produces positive results. Next, it must be kept in mind that employee efficiency is key. Let those who are best suited for a job focus on that job. Do what you do best, and let others do the same. Finally, the entire process should operate on a single database. Everyone will receive the same version of the same information, thus eliminating confusion and optimizing efficiency. Our final step is implementing the process. A good way to approach this final step is to think big, start small, and move fast. The process rollout should have clearly defined stages that focus on achieving benefits early on that counteracts any resistance from users, allowing the rollout to move quickly and maintain momentum. This rollout process should take weeks, not months to complete. While implementing the process, communication from all fronts is absolutely necessary. Communication should occur regularly, involve all parties, emphasize rationale and expected benefits of the project, and clearly define expectations for every employee. While at every stage is important, implementation is the most vital. It is at this stage that the line between a successful project and a failure is most thin. Stress levels are high, tension is felt across all mediums, and most fears and uncertainties are realized during this time, and it's up to the leaders of the project to maintain control and morale while the companies adjust. This concludes our presentation. Please take time to consider the discussion questions below and provide any feedback you may have regarding the article and our presentation. Thank you.